Hello and welcome to part 2 of making Percy from the Legend of Vox Machina. Yesterday we made the coat, and today we're going to be finishing up the costume, making the vest and the ascot. To make Percy's ascot, I'm using the pattern for View E from Simplicity 8023, and the fabric I'm using is a grayish blue matte satin. Cut out 4 of the ascot pieces, then on each of them we're going to match up the dashed lines on the pattern and sew them into place. Press the material down so that the folds are symmetrical. Putting right sides together, we're going to match up the notches in the middle and sew the pieces in place. Then press the seam open. Putting right sides together and making sure that the pleats are all going downwards, we're going to sew the ascot pieces together all along the edge, leaving a space open so it can be turned right side out. Trim away the excess seam allowance from the points so that when we turn it right side out, they will be nice and crisp. Turn the ascot right side out and press it flat. Then we're going to hand sew the hole closed. And now we have a finished ascot. To make Percy's vest, again I'm using Simplicity 8023 and basing it off of View A. The material I'm using is a black twill with a little bit of a stretch. I took the front vest pieces and applied some fusible interfacing to them. I also sewed along the edges since I couldn't use a super high heat and my interfacing wasn't wanting to stay. For the stripe along the edge of his vest, I used the pattern and traced around it to create a facing out of some black satin for a bit of contrast, then sewed it onto the vest, folding the raw edge inward. Sew the darts into the front pieces, following the guidelines marked on the pattern. Sew the 2 back pieces together along the center back seam. Sew the vest front and back pieces together along the shoulder seams. I cut the vest belt pieces out of black satin. On one of them, we're going to fold it in half and sew it together along the side and back up the corner, leaving one end open. And on the other one, we're going to sew it together and then sew along the line marked on the pattern piece and trim away the excess. Turn the belt pieces right side out and press them flat. Take the smaller belt piece, wrap it around the slide buckle and sew it into place. Sew the belt pieces to the back of the vest. For the vest lining, I'm just using some plain black cotton, and we're going to sew it together pretty similar to how we did the outer portion, just without the interfacing and all of the fancy details. Putting right sides together, sew the lining to the outer portion of the vest along the edges, and we're going to be leaving the sides of each of them open so it can be turned right side out. Turn the vest right side out, and then we're going to sew the side seams together as much as we can fit through the machine. Obviously we can't sew it completely closed, so this will have to be hand sewed closed later. Hand sew the hole closed using a ladder stitch so that you can't see the stitching. Since there aren't any buttons drawn onto Percy's vest, I decided to have the vest close with snaps. That way it can be held in place, but when the snaps are closed, you don't see any marks. And with that, Percy's vest is done. The rest of Percy's outfit is pretty much standard menswear, so my husband just wore a blue shirt and black pants that he already had in his closet, and I finished off the costume with some round glasses and a plague doctor mask that I got off of Amazon. And now for the reveal. I hope you found this video helpful. For more cosplay tutorials, please subscribe, and let me know in the comments below if there are any other Critical Role costumes you'd like to see me make. Thank you so much for watching!